there's just no stopping this train. You know, it's like we're just moving forward. We're actually time travelers. We travel. I'm dead serious. We travel at the rate of 1 second per second through time.
I didn't realize just how much music means to ourselves too. You know, you train over the course of the pandemic and everything. Everybody was just grasping for something to hold on to, you know, and something to believe in or save them and saviors, you know. But music was our light, like our life preserver, you know. It was like our safety net.
Yeah, when I started doing No Fun Mondays, that was like directed right at our fans because we had to cancel everything that we were doing because of the pandemic. But so I just did No Fun Mondays, and then like I did a few like really obscure covers. One of them in particular, was by this band called the Starjets, and they're an Irish band that were back from like 1980, and you can't really get their music on streaming. So I covered this song, and word got back to the singer, and he was so happy that he just got that recognition, and then he was playing like. He went back onto his Facebook page and he was playing acoustic guitar and singing. The same thing happened with Steve Bader's and his band members at that time. Like reached out and were like, "I can't believe you know that song, and thank you so much." So it was pretty special. It was like a little bit just I don't know, just fun to do it at a time when people were just wanting to feel something normal.
An entire career coming out of us. It's not I don't know if it's a conscious effort, but in songwriting, I mean, really, it's one song at a time.
Yeah. I mean, we just wanted to make a great record, but you know, that's an easy thing to say. Is you really have to be patient for the songs to just naturally happen. So, and you know, sometimes I felt like writing just straight like Green Day punk song, and other times I wanted to write a ballad, and other times I wanted to write like this sort of stadium sing-along, and you don't really, when the three of us got together to start playing them together, and then we recorded them together, it was like, for me, I was like, this sounds like Green Day, and right, like we really connected together.
It's like maximum extra strength, no filter Green Day.
Please finger muffles.
Look at my finger muffles. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Knee. Itchy. Knee. It is kind of, it is like being an athlete, I think, you know, it's like, you know, it's like being a boxer. You always have to be dedicated to what you're doing and be a student of what you're doing and learning more, and then, you know, something new comes out that you're really excited that a sound you've never made before, and you know, it's the physical part of it, the singing part of it, always just trying to keep your strength going, and then so you know that you can be at your best when the moment happens.
Well, yeah, we went to London and we did the majority of the record there in London in a studio called Rack Studios. It's really cool being out of the country, being, you know, a new environment, a new, you know, be able to suck up some culture and go on walks and just be somewhere different. But then getting in the studio, and I felt like we were kind of focused, you know, kind of hyper-focused on the music when we were together, and working with Rob Cavallo again too, that really helped us sort of hone in that maximum Green Day.
Yeah, and I think we come from a culture of side A and side B on the records as well. I feel like, I feel sometimes the songs will lend themselves to really spelling that story well, where you feel like, wow, okay, hold on a second. Now I'm gonna flip the record. I'm ready for it. You have to. It's these songs and the sequence of the songs is really important for that. And it worked very well this time, I think.
Yeah, I think, the culture now is, it's so dependent on like a song going viral or a song, a new song streaming a lot. And it's something that it kind of burns and turns very quickly. So for us, it's like we want to make an album, a classic record that not only you can discover now, but you can discover 10 years from now too. Yeah, I think, American Dream is Killing Me was just sort of about how the American Dream is, the old way of looking at it isn't the same. While there's some progress that's been made, whether it's like gay marriage or marijuana being legal in a lot of states, it's like, it's small compared to like people have to choose between paying the rent or their phone bill or their, it's like trying, two people having a job and raising a family in a modest home, buying a modest home. I think that's something that, or to build on their family. I think with capitalism running amok, I think it's sort of killed that dream where you have the haves and the have-nots, the have nothings.
And I think the American dream for a lot of people was, especially people that come to U.S., like immigrate here and stuff. It'd be like success, freedom, and safety. Well, the safety kind of goes out the window because there's bullets flying everywhere, and the freedom and the success is gets a little bit harder because there's less to go around, and there's inflation, and it's not, the streets aren't really paved with gold. You find out when you move here, but the safety part, I think, is where it's kind of, I don't feel totally safe all the time. But I got these guys. See, that's why we're like a unit.
That's why we got each other's back.
You seen Mike's finger muscles?
There's a saying where when a kid is riding a bicycle, he takes his hands off and says, "Look, Mom, no hands." So I was like, for me, it's just a play with words, and just said, "Look, Mom, no brain," So it's, and then I just went from there and just wrote a song about me being a complete moron. It was like, so that's what, and I ended up it being so irreverent. I was like, this is the best punk rock song I've ever written, and I was so happy with it, how it turned out. It's just like fast and powerful and just great.
I love that bridge.
It's super relevant in today's society too, because hey, check this out. Oh,
yeah.
It's like people just do stupid shit on on their phones, or film their stupid shit on their phone all the time, just for 15 seconds of mediocrity.
Yeah. Well, for me, growing up with son, I had kids very young, and so trying to be a good dad was definitely challenging for me, and I had to mature a lot in that process. So, I think everyone has a father, whether it's one that has abandoned you or one that has been a special person in your life. So, and then there's the ones in between. I think it's just something I wanted to write that dedicated to something that has to do with family. I think it really contributes to the album to create a sort of vulnerable depth that you know, otherwise wouldn't be there if that song wasn't on the record. I don't. Sometimes I think I was a good father, and sometimes I don't. You know, you definitely make mistakes. You say things or you do things that they're where you. It's like it wasn't the right thing. Wasn't the right response to what the kid, my son, was feeling, and then thankfully my wife is the person to remind me of that, because I think that for her, she was such a natural caregiver, I followed her lead a lot, and then there was times where I knew I had the right thing to say at the right time, and yeah, it's you know, there's a thing that, you know, my son, I took my son when he was really little to a football game, and the crowd was really rowdy, and he was getting really nervous, and he needed to walk out, and I grabbed him, I told him, and I would just said, remember, I would never take you anywhere where I thought you weren't safe. And to this day, that still is something that I remind him of when anytime he's feeling something. And it's like one of those times where I thought, oh man, I actually said the right thing. Yeah. I feel like we're being like the crazy uncle.
Crazy fun.
The funkle. Yeah.
Right.
That song I made a demo for probably 5 or 6 times, where I once it sounded like bossa nova. Yeah. Finally, I just was like, okay, just play the chords and sing it, and then you know, like some of my favorite music is like Pretenders or Teenage Fan Club, and so it was just like something. I was like, okay, this feels right. So yeah, it was different for us, that song, but still feels like Green Day. So we were, yeah, it was one of those moments. I think it was going to surprise people on the album.
It changes a lot for me, but right now, at this moment, it's Coma City and Father to a Son. Very kind of like two right now. It'll change probably the next few listens, but
I was gonna go Coma City, but I think right now, and it does change too. But between that and then I flip off between that lately and One Eyed Bastard.
I really like Dilemma, and Bobby Socks is one. I also really like Fancy Socks. That song was written around when around the pandemic. Saviors was. So it was. I think the whole world was on lockdown, and the whole world was like, you know, everybody was watching every single country, and somehow it kind of brought us all together in this unique way. And you know, that was at the beginning of it, before it got so divisive. But I think it was like just a moment where everyone was looking like, what's the solution to this problem? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You know, and it creates those desperate feelings, and you're like, I just want someone to figure this out, you know. And I think it's just a metaphor for life in general.